My name is Joshua Nussbaum. I produce under the name Musar, and I'm here with the Pairs and their friends to show off Kilohearts and their new product Faceplant, which is a semi-modular subtractive synthesizer that has taken everything I've wanted in synthesis and put it just into one neatly contained, very accessible package.
Nice.
So
what are you going to show us today exactly? What's the demo all about?
Yeah, so the demo is intended to kind of show what you can get from a pure stock, freshly bought, out of the box instance of Faceplant. Everything I have here was made completely inside of Faceplant. There's no external processing. There's no external mixing outside of maybe some gain staging inside of Ableton and like a basic limiter on the master to prevent clipping. But everything you're going to hear was made completely from scratch from a blank initialized template. It shows off the different audio rate modulation capabilities. It shows off the different oscillators. It shows off the sampler. It shows off the wavetable stuff. It's meant to kind of show that even if you don't own the full Kilohearts like product suite, you can make completely finished sounding like drums, synth patches, vocal effects, whatever you name it. It can do the whole kit and caboodle. You know what I'm saying?
Nice. Let's jump into it, man. I'm excited to see.
So I am kind of a bit of a monotasker. So if there's anything you want me to explain, well, I'm going to just kind of point that out, and I will go into a bit more detail. I'm just going to start off kind of from the left and work my way to the right on these packs. So as you can see, this is a very basic kind of like drum machine we got here, which really shows off like just, you know, how versatile this plugin is in terms of creating a lot of different sounds from scratch. You can see this full effect ecosystem. How's it going? And yeah, so let's just start adding in.
So what particular patches that you're working on right now?
Sorry, more time?
Which patch are you showing us right now?
Right now, this is the patch for the kick drum, and then a few different like drum samples kind of things that I've just made with like noise generators and just simple analog oscillators. Just showing how like with a little bit of post-processing, you can see there's not a lot in this effect chain here on the right. If you look up on the screen, you'll see that like I have actually two different effect lanes going. I have one effect lane right here that's just the kick drum, and then I have this one that's just the high end and the secondary hi-hat pattern, and it's all going into this master chain at the end to just sort of like self-contain the drum kit in a pretty nice package. And then here in the background I have this this bass line that I've built, and if I go over to this device, like you can see kind of like I have the, you know, simple kind of like TB303 kind of emulation, which if I scroll down here, it's just this bad boy right here on the bottom. Very simple, but we could take that and transform it into a much grittier kind of like almost dubstep-y style like bass line. And then the thing that I thought was kind of cool in this was how I can actually have it duck with the kick without having to route an external sidechain compressor because of the built-in Kilohearts snap-ins that they are using. I can show you real quick. I just have like this little gain plugin set to this little custom designed LFO shape that I have, and it's just sort of like every quarter note just kind of coming in and just pulling out a little bit of that transient just so that like it fills in with a kick. Let's add in actually this one. So this is like a simple kind of fifth super saw patch where, you know, you just have like the root node and then you stack an oscillator a perfect fifth above it. And with this one, it's sort of It's very basic synthesis. I have just some analog oscillators here with some unison and some detune. I'd say the real special thing to show off in this patch is how the different effect lanes. If you notice, this one has a poly switch, so this distortion and this phaser are per voice in the chord, rather than being just like summed to the master, whereas the next two chains affect the whole patch. So it makes certain effects pretty easy. Now if we jump back to this synth, we have something that shows off the wavetable oscillator, which, as you can see, it has this really nice 3D view, and if I mess with this first one, you can see it kind of showing it's very visual, like, and even with all of this audio kind of oscillator like stuff being visualized, I'm not really hitting too much CPU usage. And as I add in more effects, more patches into this, this is still in beta, and I haven't broken 50% CPU at all. So what I just did is I just added the vocal patch, just because I'm using that to show off these different samples, because it has a full audio sampler built in. You can do like IDMs, kind of like glitchy effects with it. You can use it as almost like a self-contained oscillator. And with this patch, what I wanted to show off was how when you're using a sample, you can still have full control over audio rate modulation. So if you've ever wanted to FM a sample, if you've ever wanted to AM a sample, like, it takes 2 seconds to just drag it in, and you have these little, what I call paper clips. And these paper clips kind of show the different parameters you can modulate. And just like with that, the orange ones are throughout the patch, the gray ones are just for like the audio rate modulation for like true FM, phase mod FM. It's really like a very versatile synthesizer in terms of like creating just kind of like weird effects or like toolkit effects, things that like I really would not have expected from a synth. And what I felt was most interesting about this process was how quick it was to make these patches. Like, I recorded myself using some video recording, some desktop recording software, and I found like at the end, like it was taking me 20 minutes, 30 minutes, maybe 60 minutes tops to get something that like I felt comfortable and ready to put in a track. And like, I mean, maybe I could do a little bit of EQing to make the whole mix kind of glue together, but it sounds pretty clean to me. Like, I don't hear any real like smearing, I don't hear any clipping, and it just fits in like right away with what I want to do.